5:30, we'll call the meeting to order. Got some guests. Do we have any comments or anything from anyone? Taylor, you good?
I'm good.
You got the video on?
Yes, it's going.
Call to order.
It's rolling.
Want to make sure.
We will start off with the consensus agenda. Is it okay to kind of, we'll do the minutes. Everybody receives the minutes. I guess we'll review them. Any objections or comments? A motion that we approve the minutes as received.
Motion.
Any discussion? All in favor? Any opposed? All right, motion carries. All right, you do the rest of the consensus agenda individually, or?
Yeah, let's do the rest of the consensus individually. That'll be fine.
All
Yes,
right,
sir.
we got 1.2.2 fundraising applications. We got tennis camp, concession stand, t-shirts, ads, concessions, and fan apparel.
They're all routine. We've given you copies. We got today the softball ones, but everything's routine. So I would recommend that y'all approve those fundraising applications at the appropriate time.
Okay. We have a motion to approve the fundraising applications.
So moved.
Any discussion? All in favor? Any opposed? All right, motion carries. 1.2.3, the use of facilities, the Corinth Parks and Recreation, CHS football fields, and NCAB. Routine again.
They are let me just say a couple of things about the Corinth Parks and Recreation letter. Bill and I have talked about this one because there's not an issue, we don't think, of them using the fields that we have for this soccer tournament that's going to be in the area. We probably want to have a little conversation with them about the $5 per car parking charge. And so we don't see that as a problem, but yet we do want to talk with them about that. So I would recommend that y'all approve this and give Bill and I an opportunity to have some conversations with Ray and Christie about that and see where we need to go with that, and see exactly what what's the use of that $5 charge and those types of things. Because if it's to pay for facilities or something, we just need a little bit of clarification on that. But we don't see a problem with them using it. And then in North and East Mississippi baseball, they've used it before, just like softball's using it this year. So I'd recommend approval for those two. And with the parks, will have to give us liability, meet all of our requirements with us as a named insured. That shouldn't be an issue.
Motion's not fair, Frank, are you aware of that?
Motion to approve these facility usage with the allowing both the superintendent and our board attorney to further discuss the $5 charge.
Second. Any discussion? All in favor? Any opposed? All right, motion carries. 1.2.4, approve the consensus agenda items. All right, 1.3, review and approve payment of claims. Claims number 42880 through 43082, excluding 43013.
Motion to accept.
Discussion? All in favor? Any opposed? Motion carries.
Yeah, we did a motion to pay 43013.
All right, now we got a motion to pay claim 43013.
Motion.
Second.
Any discussion? All in favor? Any opposed? Motion carries. 2.0, School Resources and Support Systems. 2.1, accept donations from Blue Sky Corporation to Corinth High School for $500, Corinth Middle School for $500, and Corinth Elementary School for $500. Routine. Motion to
Motion to
accept
accept.
donations.
Motion to accept donation.
Second.
Any discussion? All in favor? Any opposed? Motion carries. 3.0, purpose and direction. 3.1, approve parent and family engagement policy plan, which is a revision to the parent policy.
Right, with the new Every Student Succeed Acts, or what you'll hear referred to as ESSA. We previously had a parent involvement policy. ESSA now calls it the Parent and Family Engagement Policy or Plan. And Jean has provided you with what we have to have as a school district, and we would recommend that you adopt this policy and plan.
Motion.
Motion to adopt the parent and family engagement policy plan.
Second.
Any discussion? All in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? Motion carries. 3.2, discuss revised communication policy.
Okay, we have provided you, we've been talking about the communication policy for a while, and Bill, we have provided you with this, with the changes that Bill made from our last meeting, highlighted, and we talk about that, you know, in such instances, you know, if you email or text, it must be managed, and we said through one of the district's communication rather than naming a specific platform. And we gave additional flexibility in that item number 1, or in any other platform approved by the district. And then we talked about that you did not need to use the social media platforms such as Snapchat, Instagram, or Facebook to have direct communication with students, because we know that there's no tracking there of those types of things. And then, you know, that if you're using one of these commercial communication platforms, we've got a record, and that we would have the right, you know, may be viewed if we wanted to. Then they, the next paragraph deals with kind of knowing that there are going to be some communications that are going to occur. It could be just, let's just say you teach Sunday school class. You could have students that are in the Sunday school class, and this is, you know, talking about that this is designed to deal with communication between personnel and students that comes about as a result of their school relationship, not about any other one. And that sometimes there are times that personnel will have some type of relationship that's a personal relationship with a student that's outside of a school context. And Bill elaborates on that, such as church, non-school sports, you know, family relationships, those types of things, because you could have a teacher and a child. I mean, and so, you know, we talked about, you know, that, and it's not intended to restrict that type of communication. And then, of course, it puts in there that all potential violations, you know, are subject to review by the district to determine whether it was a legitimate contact, you know, in a non-school relationship. So, you know, you can deal with it as you need to deal with it. So it gives a little bit more of that flexibility that we discussed at the last meeting. And we can discuss a little bit more of this, and if y'all want to wait, if y'all got some more specific questions or want some other things, we don't have to adopt this tonight, you know, depending on how y'all feel and what y'all want to maybe talk with Bill specifically about. But I think we've tried to address most of the concerns that y'all raised at the previous board meeting. And I thought they were very good and very valid concerns and issues, because we certainly don't want to penalize someone, but we do want to keep in mind that we've got to protect. We want to try to protect our children. So thoughts,
Have some
comments?
more discussion, or
I like the way it's rewritten.
I mean, I think we've improved. I mean, and,
Yeah.
you know, it's just taken several attempts to get there.
any more comments, or adopted, or take? Everybody comfortable with it? I mean, I think it addressed most of the stuff we brought, or everything we brought up.
Y'all have that right to change something at any point. That would be correct.
We get a motion to adopt the revised communication policy.
Motion to adopt revised communication policy.
Any discussion? All in favor? Any opposed? Motion carries.
Can I say a couple?
You can.
Okay, just a couple. Taylor is working with Remind 101 for us looking at becoming purchasing it as a district, and that gives us some other features. And so she's having some conversations with them where we can get to that point. And now that we've got this, Bill and I will finalize the employee handbook and get that to you one day next week, where we can go ahead and get that adopted and check that off of our list.